She's like an angel to me.
Again, and Agatha, you've just been the rock to our family.
And through your advice, we have experienced a miracle.
You definitely are a pillar of the Gonzalez family. I'll say you're the head of the Gonzalez family.
Agatha. Agatha is derived from the Greek word agathos, which means good, excellent, distinguished, virtue, noble.
Sisters, sisters, there were never such devoted sisters. Never had to have a chaperone, no sir.
We grew up in Nebraska and lived on Highway 6. And I have one brother, and then Agatha and my sister Janice. We also had another brother, Leander, who was 2 years older than me, but he passed away from pneumonia when he was 5. I barely remember him. As we grew up, Agatha being 7 years older than me, we never had a close relationship because by the time I was getting out of grade school, she was out working, and she would work at people's houses, and so we never, were very close because she would stay at these people's houses, and then she would, come home maybe on the weekend, and then after that she worked in Hastings at Sensenbaugh, and then she got married and moved to Kansas with her husband, and so they moved around, and I never really had a real good relationship with her until we were both older. I mean, I had a relationship, but I mean it wasn't loving like it is now. She's the one I can call anytime I need to talk to someone. She's just a wonderful sister. She's like an angel to me. And we have long conversations on the phone, and she always tells me a story, so I laugh. And that's just what I need. I love her very much. Agatha is such a sweetheart, and everybody loves her. And she's so good. I wish I could be as generous as she is. She baked cookies for those firemen for years, and she's always doing something for someone. I can't even keep up with her, even though she's 7 years older than me. So I just want her to know that I think she's the sweetest person in the world. Love you, Agatha.
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
When I was growing up, we lived in a farmhouse, and of course in those days there was no electricity. Agatha, or Aggie as I call her, shared a bedroom, and many nights we slept at the foot of the bed by the window, hoping we would get some air, as there were no fans in those days. Agatha has had some trials in her life, but once she met Richard Douglas, she was a happy woman. Eventually they were married, and I know her life was complete when they started going to Wheaton Christian Church. She's a strong woman of faith and never hesitates to tell you. If you have problems and call her, she'll always tell you, give it to Jesus. He's taking care of you all this time, and he's there with you every minute of every day. She never fails to tell you how much she loves the Lord and how dedicated she is to him and to her faith in him. I love her dearly. She's been my rock. And my best friend.
And everything I'd like to be.
I don't even know where to begin in, Agatha. You've just been the rock to our family for for as long as I've known you. Dad loved you so much. I wish he was here to do this for you, and I know he would have loved to do this for you. Once Mom and Dad moved to Nebraska, and you talked weekly, sometimes daily, on the phone. And I always knew if I walked in the door when he was talking to you, because he had that smile and he just would be talking. And sometimes he'd just be listening and he'd be nodding and smiling. And I knew, I says, Aunt Agatha, and he'd go, yeah. I remember the time when we were kids and Colleen and Barb and Trish, I don't know if it was all of us. I don't remember Paulette doing it too, but we'd start cooking fudge. I don't even know the recipe, but it was a quick fudge that we could make really fast because we were all hungry and had peanut butter in it. And my daughter Kimberly told me when I said that we were coming out here, she said, oh, Mom, I'll never forget Aunt Agatha when we came to her house from Nebraska, how we talked about the fudge, and she got up and went into the kitchen and made the fudge just that very night. And you're the most gracious host. I mean, when you sit down to have a lunch, it's not just a sandwich, you have a 5-course meal. And you always are so genuine. You love doing it. You love entertaining. You want to make sure everyone is content and happy. You are definitely serving God by serving others. I know that. And I know how much you love the Lord. You speak of Him every conversation. And you have such deep faith. And you just have a way of lifting me up. And it helps me, like when Dad was sick, you just were a rock to me to help me get through his illness. And I love you so much.
You raise me up so I can stand on mountains.
Hi, Aunt Agatha. I'm so grateful you're in my life. You have so many special qualities. The one that stands out the most is your love for Christ and others. I can always count on you because you have a heart that listens, you're very supportive and full of wisdom. Recently, Ernesto and I were going through a difficult time in our lives, and you were there with love and support, and through your godly wisdom, you suggested that we read the Psalms. And through your advice, we have experienced a miracle. I love coming over to your house. We have so much fun visiting together. We laugh and talk for hours and hours and hours. And I enjoy your company so much. I'm so blessed that you're my aunt, and I thank God that you're in my life. You are a blessing and a joy, and I love you so much.
You raise me up to walk on stormy seas.
One time when I was in the 8th grade, shortly after Agatha was with Richard, my girlfriend and I rode our bikes over to visit her at her house, and we found her sunning herself in the backyard. And she had to tie the bandanas she was wearing for a top together so that she could get up and go in and get us a glass of water. So anyways, hopefully she won't kill me for saying that. But anyways, I just want to say, Aunt Agatha, I love you. You've always been the sweetest, kindest person that I know. You've always shown a great love for Jesus, and your relationship with Him has never ashamed you. I just want to thank you for being such a rock for my mom and for being such a great example of what it is to be a Christian. I have never heard you say anything bad about anyone. And I just want you to know I love you.
My impressions are pretty much what you'll get of her endless love, her patience, never judging anyone, the quiet, peaceful support and direction that she gives with never any crossword, never criticism.
her bushel of light has shined always for us. I remember how she would pray with us every week in the quiet of the dark living room on our knees. We would pray the rosary together. And even when my father stopped going to church, she would still pray the rosary with us. So I had a very firm and early introduction to the importance of the Lord in our lives. And while that changed a lot for Mom, and it also did for me, it's still the guiding light for us, and she continues to inspire us every moment with her love, her positive attitude that God moves all, conquers all, supports all, and provides all that we need. And she's just such an amazing inspiration for me, and I can't begin to say how much I love and adore her and thank her every moment for being the beautiful person that she is, and how totally blessed I am to have her as my mother. And we just love you forever, Mom, and I know God's going to continue to bless you with good health and good things, because it all comes back at you, and there's just not enough minutes in a lifetime to give you back everything you've given to everyone. So we love you very much. Thank you. God bless. Done?
Done.
You want to say, I love you, Grandma?
Love you, Grandma.
Nice, buddy.
Mama said there'll be days like this, there'll be days like this. Mama said, Mama said, Mama said, Mama said.
First, I began with my thanks to him for the gift of life. Without you and my father, I would not have the life I have, or even to be able to be here talking to you as I am right now. This is the first and greatest gift. Secondly, you did sacrifice for me, and you provided for me the means to know God. The gift of my faith was given to me and planted and nourished by the gift of your sacrifice to provide for my Catholic education. Throughout my younger years, and throughout all the years for that matter, this faith has been the foundation and the rock that I could fall back on. I've observed and learned, and through the years, I see as you've turned your life over to serving God, there have been so many people that you've touched with your love and support, myself included. No matter how difficult things were made for at times, for whatever reason, I somehow always knew you'd be there to boost my spirit, to lend an understanding heart, and just make me feel better. Sometimes I just wish I could be close again, like a mile away, so I could run over for that cup of coffee, or we could go have lunch together. And hopefully that will be soon. When I was going through some of the old photos, I came across a note that was sent to you by an old seminary classman of JD. His name is Mark Miller. I think it sort of expresses and sort of explains what people who meet you and know you feel about you. And I'd like to read this note. Dear Mrs. Thornbrew, it's too bad that the English language has only a few words to express thanks. If there were more, I would use them. Your home was marvelous. But even if you lived on another street, had little to offer in comforts, or did not have your lovely daughters, John or Mr. Thornbrew, it would have made no difference. You showed how you thought and who you really were, and that is the only thing that really counts, the person. That kind of says it all, Mom. I love you, and you mean more to me than you really could ever know.
Mama said that it was okay. Mama said that it was quite alright. Our kind of people had a bed for the night, and it was okay. Mama told us we were good kids, and Daddy told us never listen to the words.
I don't even know where to begin, and it's hard to even speak about my mother because I love her so very much.
As you grow older, you know the struggles your parents have, and I know my mother had a very, very difficult life for many years, but she kept forging ahead, and God brought Richard into her life, and together they walked the most beautiful, spiritual walk with Christ that anybody could ever witness. And as Richard's passing came, it did not deter her in any way. The grief never brought her down because she was filled with so much of the light of Christ. I have just so many stories. One that, as a young mother with 4 small children, I wouldn't even ask her, and she'd call me up and say, I'm going to come over and spend the day tomorrow. And this is back when she didn't drive, I didn't drive, and a bus had to take 2 buses to come to my house. And she would take those 2 buses and transfer and come and spend the day and do ironing for me, help me scrub things that I just had so much on the back burner and got backlogged. She would be there, she would leave, and my house would be immaculate again for a few weeks until she called me and said, hey, I'm coming over again. And she always made time for me and my children. She was their, really grandma in their life. So very close with them, and always wanted them with them. I could remember when she knew they were coming over, she would make her little individual things of jellos and puddings, and they could all just run in and pick their little bowl that was their color out of her refrigerator and have that treat, and just that love and care, and she's been the stronghold with any difficulties I've had in my life, especially this past years when we lost our grandson in a car accident. She's always been there for me. She's let me cry on her shoulder. She's let me come to her house and just sit and cry and can't not even be able to talk, but she's just been there for me. And I could never thank God enough for allowing me the privilege of being born and her being my mother that was given to me on this earth. I love you so very much, Mama. There's no words to tell you how much I appreciate you, love you, admire, and respect you. And I hope someday I can at least deserve the 10th amount of respect and admiration from my children that we have from you, because then my life will have been a success. I love you, and thank you.
Grandma's hands clapped in church on Sunday morning. Grandma's hand.
I have a lot of memories of her growing up, and a lot of them is she used to take me fishing with Richard, and also I would spend the night at her house quite a bit. And a few memories there is on Friday nights, she would make a big bowl of popcorn and we'd all watch Dallas. And that was just kind of a cute, fun thing. And she also got the little pizzas, and we each kind of had our own. So that was kind of a neat thing too. But one of the stories is for whatever reason, I just didn't want to be at school, I think, because I was in grade school, and so my mom was working, so she called my grandma up to see if I could go over there. So my mom picked me up from school, and I went over to my grandma's, and she had the couch all laid out for me because I was supposed to be sick. And after probably a while, my grandma probably realized that I really wasn't sick, and she came in with a banana split ice cream. So I never told my mom, and I don't think Grandma did either. But she's just always just really been a sweet lady, and she's like my grandma, and I go visit her and call her, cut her grass or shovel her driveway, whatever, because she's just that special person to me. So Grandma, I love you, and here's to 87 more years.
Grandma's hand picked me up each time I fell. Grandma's hand, boy, they really came in a handy.
Hi, Grandma. when I think about Grandma, when I think about you, Grandma, I think about, number one, how wonderful you are. You're a wonderful woman. I'm so happy to have you in my life. I have started collecting your recipes. You've taught me so much. You brought me here, actually, to the church. It's because of you I have a wonderful life and an awesome family. I love, and well, there's a lot of other things I love about you also, but I thought I'd mention your coconut cream pie.
Grandma.
I know.
Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandma. You were always like a second mother to me growing up, and you still are. As I've gotten older, I know what I can and cannot talk to you about, because we differ in a lot of opinions, especially politics. But one thing we can agree on is your cooking, because it's always good. And if I ever want to go over and conversate and find out about somebody in the family, you definitely know about that. So
I think I can echo my dad's statements. I do enjoy your cooking, especially around the holidays. I enjoy your desserts, your fudges, your
Christmas cookies.
All your
Christmas
treats.
cookies.
Yeah, most definitely, all your treats. But when on a serious note, I think I can say that you definitely are a pillar of the Gonzalez family. I'll say you're the head of the Gonzalez family. I enjoy spending time with you during holidays with the rest of the family. I enjoy all your prayers before meals. And I could definitely say that we'd be lost without you. I just want to say we definitely love you.
Grandma is long-winded during the prayers. You are long-winded during the prayers, Grandma. That is for sure. We're hungry and we keep praying.
She's gonna get you for that one.
I like when we all go together and when back to school comes around and we like eating together and just talking a lot.
And I'm definitely glad, I can say that I'm glad that she was definitely around here for the birth of my daughter. She was able to spend some time with her.
You are able to.
And I hope that you're even able to spend even more years with her.
Yeah, Grandma's now a great, that's a lot of greats.
We love you, Grandma.
Wait.
Well, let's do it right now. Ready? Okay.
1, 2,
I love you.
3.
We love you, Grandma.
You raised me up so I could stand on mountains. You raised me up to walk on stormy seas.
Hello, Grammy. I know that my dad loved you very much and that he admired your generosity towards others, your incredible hospitality, and your unshakable faith in God and in His mercy. This deep love for God is shown in your genuine love for people. I remember even when I was young, you always had a friendship with all your neighbors and took the time to get to know them, to listen to their stories, to encourage them. You've always shown the same care, commitment, and generosity to your own family and your church community as well. I know for many years you have arrived early to your church on Sundays to greet and welcome the members of your congregation. I know you have been an incredible blessing to them as you have been to all of us. You gave this same love of people to my dear dad, who devoted his life to teaching in Catholic schools and seminaries. He enjoyed chatting and visiting with people, sharing his faith everywhere he went, even at the gas pumps, much to my mother's chagrin. However, it wouldn't be fair to talk about my dad without mentioning my mom. She often spoke about her love for you and your deep friendship. I remember your regular and lengthy telephone conversations. I believe they happened almost every Saturday, and I know she looked forward to them. I know my mom isn't the only one that you take time to regularly call and talk with. I know many people benefit from your devotion, your time, your care. This love for God spills over into everything you do and every person you come in contact with. Your love of God is further shown in your gracious hospitality. I have many fond memories of gathering around the table in your warm and cozy kitchen, with steaming plates of delicious food set before us, you and often my Aunt Paulette bustling around to make sure everything was just right before we all joined together in prayers of thanksgiving for the gifts of wonderful food that you prepared and also of our time together. I know my dad and mom also found great comfort and refuge in coming to visit you. My dad often remarked about how well rested he felt after his visits. He enjoyed so much spending time with you, taking you out on shopping errands, helping with little projects. He felt that it was small repayment for the kindness and care you showed to us whenever we came to see you. I also have to mention that part of the wonderful hospitality I remember so much as a child was because of dear Richard. I remember many Sunday afternoons sitting in your backyard with Richard barbecuing some ribs, laughing and visiting all afternoon. My favorite thing about watching you and Richard and my parents visiting is that you all love to laugh. Richard had such a wonderful and dry sense of humor, but I especially loved how much he could make you laugh, and how much you love laughing. My fondest memories will be of sitting at the table with you and Aunt Paulette and my dad, joking and laughing, eating some delicious dessert, like your amazing coconut cream or rhubarb pie, with hot cups of coffee. I'm pretty sure I have never felt more love than in those moments with you. As long as I have known you, you have never hidden this light of faith from the world, but always proclaimed it. You've always reminded us of God's goodness and His faithfulness to us. In recent years, we have suffered a lot of loss in our family. Tragic loss, the kind that makes many people question their faith. But you've always stood firm and never wavered in your confidence in God and His infinite love. You have grieved and comforted all of us in these hardships, never burdening but always encouraging, always moving forward, building us up, strengthening us, and lending us some confidence and faith when we needed it. Thank you, Grammy, for all the love you give us, your family, and the family of your church. You are such a blessing to us all. We love you, and God bless you today and always.
Did you ever know that you're my hero?
Grandma, we love you. Thank you for all that you've done for us, all that you meant to our family. What's always been special for me and now my family is going over to your house and having lunch with you. It's always just the perfect lunch date. Everything is just so much love with the way it's prepared and served, and it's just something that's always been special to me. So I thank you for that. I love you. Vita drew something for you as well. That's your picture.
Grandma, I've really enjoyed getting to know you throughout the years. I love our relationship. I think you're a wonderful woman. I admire your positivity about life, and I love you very much.
Well, I'm gonna dance for you like nobody's watching. Nobody's watching me, and dance for you, my Lord. And I'm gonna sing for you like nobody's listening, and sing for you, my Lord.